Did you get a new laugh?
I was gonna say,
Yeah, what was that?
laugh before?
Are you laughing because you were legitimately trying a new laugh and got called out on it?
I gotta
Because
try
I
this
think
one
that's
out.
what happened.
I don't know what.
I'm gonna see if they notice.
Welcome back, everyone, to S1E1, a show where each week we pick a different sitcom, watch just the first televised episode, and forgetting anything we might know about the future run of that show, rate it and decide if it's a show we want to greenlight or cancel. This week we're going to be talking about Rules of Engagement. Rules of Engagement went 100 episodes over 7 seasons on CBS. Here we're talking about episode 1, which was called Pilot, originally airing February 5th, 2007. To get things started, I'm Jay Kaggs. With me, as always, the boys, Gordo, Berg, Nick, no Joe this week. What's going on, guys?
Heyo.
Hello.
Great, now I'm gonna be Nick Nojo.
Hey. Nick Nojo.
Nick Nojo.
No, Goro is way better.
You guys want to explain what that means?
When on Spotify, AI does the closed captioning of us. So if you're on Spotify, you can read along as we're talking. And for some reason, when when Gordo's not here, he'll go, Jay, Joe, Ferg, Nick, no Gordo this week. But every time the AI on Spotify just changes it to Nick No Goro, Nogoro as my last name instead. And now this week it's going to be a Nick Nojo.
Yeah, Nick Nojo.
Yeah, and just to explain too, I just want to apologize on Joe's behalf. He can't be here this week. As all of you know, at the time of this recording, we're still pre-Thanksgiving. I think this episode is going to come out after Thanksgiving. But a combination of Joe eagerly preps. It usually takes him weeks on end. And on top of that, there is a doorbuster Black Friday sale that he's adamant about getting. So he's going to actually be sitting in front of his store for about a week now. We're going to put on social media his location. So if anyone wants to at least bring him food and drink, but it's $20
What was
off.
he waiting for?
Yeah.
It's just it's the first 3 seasons of Green Acres on DVD. And it's $20 off. And I don't know, we're trying to explain it's not even that good of a deal. But he's adamant about it. So if anyone wants to just send him, a blanket or something to eat while he's sitting in line, if you could do that, that'd be appreciated.
An oversized tote bag would be nice.
Oh, yeah. How's he going to carry it home?
With all that being said, Rules of Engagement. Nick, your pick?
Yeah, it was. We have you compiled a list of shows in our drive, and I was just not a lot of effort went into this. I was just scrolling, and that one caught my eye because I have never seen it, but I do remember hearing a lot about it.
It's funny because as I'm getting everything prepped and stuff, and when I do the intro and have to write some of the stats, 7 seasons. What?
I was surprised by that too.
Yeah, me too.
And I think we always talk about this. This is all right, this show comes out, we're all this comes out months before I turn 21. We're out. We're not we are out not watching television for at least the next few years. So, it's just, we've said this many times for a lot of shows that come in this era. I just think we're not watching a lot of television at this point. But when I think of David Spade, I just think of Just Shoot Me, which is a show we still need to cover too.
I thought we did.
No, not yet.
Didn't he also take over 8 Simple Rules?
He joined it later on. Didn't John Lovitz also get in? I could be.
I don't think John Lovitz.
I don't think he was a permanent replacement, but I know he was in 8 Simple Rules, which is another show with rules in the title.
Did you guys know this show was made by Adam Sandler?
I did not know that.
This is production company?
It's a Happy Madison sitcom?
Yep.
I don't know if I trust.
I know. I got to look it up now because I don't.
I'll wait. Don't worry about it. I want to see your face when you realize I'm right.
If you weren't wrong so often, we wouldn't question you.
Go for it. Why don't you, first thing, why don't you go look at that?
Yeah, it's a Happy Madison production according to Wiki.
Well, is that first? Or is this an every week thing that I'm always
They
right?
weren't. I don't know if they're the overall producers, but they are in it. They are a producer in it. But yeah, regardless. So yeah, this one ran for a while. I mean, it has one of those you look at the cast and you're wow, everyone on this cast is pretty solid. We've covered almost everybody on this show in different iterations.
Yeah.
and we'll talk about them as we get through them, I guess.
The younger couple, not the new couple. The young couple.
Oliver Hudson we did because we did the show with him and Jenna Fisher when we did Ladies of the Office a month ago. Back to that. What was that?
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah, okay.
Happily Unmarried. I can't remember.
We did the tech for Patrick Warburton.
Yep.
Yeah.
Megan Price was in Grounded for
Grounded
Life.
for Life. I mean, not every single person was in the show, but like I said, we've covered 3 out of the 5 of them on other shows, and we for sure will be doing Just Shoot Me eventually.
Where David Spade plays the same character, which is David Spade.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
doesn't. He doesn't venture out.
We'll get into that in a little bit too.
Man's comfortable. He's got a range.
To go over a few things, IMDb 7.4, Rotten Tomatoes, no critic but audience 8.1. And if you want to watch the show, it's on like Pluto, I believe, and said Roku channel. Like I didn't confirm the Roku channel.
You can
but,
pay for it on pretty much everything, and then
so it's findable, but Pluto would probably be your cheapest option if you want to watch. I don't know how many seasons made it on there.
This screams being a Hulu show. I'm shocked it's not on there.
I think you can buy it there. You might be able to.
What about Paramount Plus?
Again, I think you can buy it most of these places. You can purchase it per episode or by the season. What about Disney? Yeah, you can purchase it.
To go back with David Spade real quick, I find like you know what was one time where I feel like he did a good job being a little outside the box was The Wrong Missy.
I like that movie.
I loved that movie. I was surprised.
That movie was pretty good.
Yeah.
Gordo definitely didn't see it, but I mean, it's a good movie. It's worth watching if you. It's on Netflix.
Lord, it's got so many birds in it.
I think there actually are flamingos in it.
Maybe.
To jump into the show itself, starts off with a black screen, and then text appears. It says, "When you're single, you're exactly as happy as you are. When you're married, you can only be as happy as the least happy person in that relationship." They didn't cite who quoted that, and I'm like, that's a pretty good quote. So you feel like, I mean, if a writer thought of it, kudos to them. But yeah, there was no like little whose quote that was afterwards.
It was actually Gandhi.
Was it?
No.
From there, it fades into like an exterior shot of a place called Island Diner. And then we cut inside. That's when we first meet Adam, which is Oliver Hudson's character. He's sitting at a booth when Russell, played by David Spade, runs in and joins him. And it's like, hey, sorry, I'm late, had a thing. Adam's like, oh, that's cool. I ordered you a burger. He's like, you ordered for me? What are we going to make out now?
I instantly dislike David Spade's character. I know there's a degree of you're supposed to probably not really love him, but I don't know. Just something about the snarkiness of this interaction really made me dislike him.
Yeah, can you imagine any of us telling the others, I got engaged and getting his reaction?
Yeah.
Like, fuck you.
I'm also fairly confident. I don't think we've ever had to do it, but I'm also fairly confident I could successfully order for most of you and have it be acceptable. Like if you
I think
weren't
depending
there,
on the place, yeah. I mean,
yeah, depend on the menu, obviously. Like Joe would be easy. You just get like the most bland fucking gluten-free shit out there, and then watch him not eat it.
As we go along with this, depending on if the bun was Joe diet friendly. One thing that has become painfully obvious is pay attention to how many episodes where Joe brings up burgers. Apparently,
Dude,
we always talk about
I thought about this recently, and it wasn't the burgers. You remember how he was talking about how he loves bread without butter toasted?
Yeah.
He's eating gluten-free bread, too. That's like the worst version of a bad version of something.
I'll say in Joe's defense, having gone to Joe's house a couple times and just been around it, if you go to the right places, there are some really good gluten-free breads. And like, obviously he's going to go out of his way to do that. But
yeah,
I know, I think it was like the last episode and like, I'm doing some editing and video stuff. And I'm like, Joe brings up burgers so much.
He loves burgers.
Does.
So he would have been more than ecstatic that Adam ordered him a burger. But yeah, to go back to like what Ferg said, because right after Adam's like, well, I called you because I have some big news for you. Like, I'm moving in with Jennifer. He's like, so, because he had asked if he could crash on Russell's couch. He's not going to have to do. He's like, yeah, you probably would have had to flip the cushions. And I'm like, ugh.
What does that
You know
mean? What does that
He's
mean?
fucked on the couch.
He's just banging girls on his couch all the time. And
I mean, I feel like that's not necessarily implied. Ferg, I'm getting a Clark vibe. You know how you
Yes!
hate his character
Sex.
in that movie where he's like the sex symbol?
Sex drive.
Yeah,
Yep.
I got that vibe with David Spade. David Spade is not a ladies'
not
man guy. He just isn't, and they're portraying
you know what
him
I
as that
pulled
in
from
this.
at this point was I felt like they're trying to make a How I Met Your Mother but older type vibe show, and he's their Barney.
100%. Even where they are, this restaurant is pretty similar to the How I Met
And
Your
I
Mother
looked it up
restaurant.
after. I'm like, do I have the years right though? And How I Met Your Mother came out a few years before this, so like that show is cooking at this point. Is like one of
They
the top
actually
shows.
they went on right after another. They eventually moved this show to a different day,
Yeah.
but it went How I Met Your Mother and then Rules
So
and
that
Engagement.
makes even more sense. So I think there was a little bit of like, we need you to be like a Barney-like character.
But I mean, just put
But
Neil
he's-
Patrick Harris and David Spade next to each other, and like, I mean, come on.
Well, you know what? Not everyone finds Neil Patrick Harris as hot as you do, apparently. But
What? Neil Patrick Harris is a classically handsome guy,
yeah,
and David Spade is not. I'm sorry, David Spade, but you're not
A
classically.
lot of shade being thrown at David Spade very early in this episode.
sorry, David Spade. I don't think David Spade is that ugly. Like, but
I don't
yeah,
think
do
he's ugly either. But
I
I'm
do
just
think
saying.
they put like, and honestly, like, not to sound funny, but like, you have him next to like Oliver Hudson, who I think he's more of a like classically handsome man, and to have David Spade be the more like sex symbol of the two of them portrayed in the show.
David Spade's like, it's like Rob Schneider, David Spade, and then the list goes on. But they're close to each other.
I feel like that's a knock. I think you got to rank Spade before Schneider.
Oh, you put Snyder over Spade?
No, the other way around.
Okay.
Okay. This is a very strange looking man.
I like David Spade. Don't get me wrong, but I'm just saying I don't like that. That's the what they chose for him here.
But yeah, his reaction to finding out that his like best friend just got engaged, and he's like,
Douchey.
what? He's like, what are you, the dumbest idiot in the world? Not even like a shade of congratulations.
No.
No. That's why I don't think that they're that good of friends.
No, they are that good of friends. They're best friends.
The only thing I'll say in defense was like the one point he had was, you've only known each other 7 months. So there is a little bit of like, it's not just, I don't want my friend to be happy and engaged. It admittedly is a very like short amount of time to get engaged. So I'll give him a little bit of credit there, and that 7 months is quick.
And that he said that he didn't buy a ring or
There was a lot of that, yeah.
what was it? No ring, no wedding date, and no plan.
Well, yeah, no date obviously is fine. Like you're not proposing.
No ring doesn't count.
How are you going to propose without a ring?
Yeah, you can't promise to promise. Like
And that does kind of get reflected a little later on in the show. We'll talk about it, but it does seem like he proposed very much on a whim. Because of that, Russell's also like, can you at least find out if the baby's yours? He's like, she's not pregnant. Like, what? And then he's saying how he just proposed because he loves her.
but he didn't because he didn't buy her a ring. That really pisses me off.
I get the idea he doesn't have much money. That's why he lost his house and was going to sleep on David Spade's couch. Now he's moving in with her.
Yeah, they don't give us a lot of that. We know that
No.
he needed a place, but yeah, they didn't.
So, did you notice that there was a drafting table in the apartment?
No.
No, because I felt like all the apartments were like super like flooded with shit.
So I didn't even think about this until you brought up How I Met Your Mother. I made the connection myself too. It was very similar. But Ted is an architect in that. And in the corner behind where all his baseball stuff was is a drafting table like near her desk. And I'm like, are they gonna make this guy an architect too? Like what?
So yeah, for one reason or another, he was without a place. Also, when Russell's like, when he tells him that he proposed because he loves her, he goes, "That's so gay. Like being in love with a girl is gay." Like no, but saying it out loud to another guy is. But I felt like there was a little bit of in this scene. Well, I guess in this whole show, to be completely honest, but like David Spade's character is a little try hard.
Yes, agreed.
And I feel like they could have dialed it back because I do think David Spade is naturally very funny, and they're asking him to be Like we're saying he's being David Spade, but he's being a little too amped up to a point where it's like it's a little fictional.
Yeah.
He's like David Spade and Tommy Boy, like just a prick.
Yeah. Right. Well, the first half.
As he's talking more about the situation and how he thinks it's a big, huge mistake and how horrible it is, Jennifer walks up. He's like, "Hey," and she's like, "Hey, like, did he tell you he proposed?" Like, "Yeah, he did." In silence, he goes, "Oh, hooray!"
I also got mad he didn't say congratulations. Just
Yeah.
hooray.
Yeah.
And that goes into the intro. And the intro is weird. It's like a photo shoot, and it's like the 5 main characters on the show, and you see that there's 2 different couples, and then David Spade's character. So it's all them like laying in bed, and then when like you get to the wider shot, you find out that it's like the 2 couples and David Spade are all in bed together. It's not all individual beds for the 2, like for the 3.
And David Spade is in the opposite direction with his feet on
Yeah,
the
so
pillow.
his feet are just in their face.
Yeah. It was gross.
I wish this was the plot of the show. Like they're all like the grandparents from Willy Wonka.
Yeah, they all share one bed, and they're just making fucking clothes soup nearby. Did you get a new laugh?
I was gonna say,
Yeah,
I
what
never
was
heard
that?
laugh before. He turned into Dr. Hibbert from The Simpsons.
Are you laughing because you were legitimately trying a new laugh and got called out on it?
I gotta
Because
try
I
this
think
one
that's
out.
what happened.
I don't know what
I'm gonna see if they notice.
The intro is like fine. There's not much to it. I thought the song
I would
sucked.
hardly even call it an intro, honestly.
Yeah.
Like it's
I
so
thought it was
quick
like one
and
of those,
pointless.
the song was just had nothing to do with anything. It just, but again, like that era, and I still feel like today's world does a lot, but like get a generic, like light little indie tune, like throw that in there. Doesn't matter what the show's about.
Like Love and Marriage was already taken, so they had nothing else.
What I thought was weird is the way that the show's presented, like through the intro, and now we'll see them in the next scene. But, you know, the other couple of Audrey and Jeff, Patrick Warburton and Megan Price's characters, they're the first one seen. And they're the only 2 that weren't in the opening scene. So, like, for the first episode of the
It's
first,
weird, yeah.
you know, of the series, it's weird to be like, these are kind of the main 2 people out of the 5, but they're not going to be in the first scene. It's the other 3.
I actually got pretty excited when I got the Patrick Warburton surprise on my screen.
Yeah, me too.
I was like, oh, yay.
Like I said, right after that intro, we see them, and it's Audrey's walking into the apartment. Jeff's already kind of sitting at the table, like next to the living room, when she walks in. I'll save this before I even get into the scene. I think Patrick Warburton is very funny.
Yeah.
It's weird because his cadence is so unique that it's weird to see him like try to be a regular person in a couple.
It's weird to see him try to not be a tick.
Yeah. So it's like when you see him be the tick, you know what I mean? Like it's such a like an elevated character. But when you see him like still talking that way in a normal, like just
like a
talking
suit,
to his wife in the living room, it's weird.
Yeah.
I don't know, he's also Joe from Family Guy. He's a little louder in that.
But yeah, that's still a little more extreme and animated. So
Yeah.
And again, I think he's hilarious. It's just, you know, and we've seen him in other sitcoms. You know what I mean? He's been in like Seinfeld and shit. It's just, it's weird to see him as like a main and be him. But yeah, so she walks in and he goes, "Did you write a check?" She's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Well, you didn't put it in the thing. So now, you know, whatever." And he's talking about like the bank book, which it's right on that line, huh? Like
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
We were right on that cusp. I never really like kept a bank book, and then I feel like by 2007, I mean, I guess at this point you still are a little bit, but debit cards are like more prevalent and like the internet, so there was like less need of all this.
I had to write a check recently, and I forgot how to do it. I had to write it for Max's soccer.
Oh, I go straight to the bank and have them make a check for me. I haven't written a check in so long.
Yeah, I can't remember the last time I wrote a check.
I used to have to write them for rent, and then my landlord at the time switched. He was like, you can use Zelle. And I was like, my bank doesn't let me use Zelle. I have to use something else. But yeah, I mean, even when I was writing checks, like the purpose of balancing is to like keep track of what you have if the check hasn't been cashed, right?
Yeah.
Which is not rare, which is rare now. Like if I'm writing a check, my landlord's going to cash it pretty quickly. And if what else would you write a check for? I guess like Ferg said, for like kids sports or something like that. But
yeah, I mean, I'll say this is 2007. I mean, I started working at a supermarket in 2001, and then I mean, so it's like a good chunk of years before. But like my first few years there, when I was like still a cashier, like people would pay for groceries with checks all the time.
yeah,
Like it was still very commonplace. So we're not like super far away from it at this point,
Yeah.
but it is funny to hear it now.
Who would trust someone writing a check? 2025.
It all scans now. Like it,
Yeah.
like it processes like a debit card now when you scan a check, but like almost no one even takes them. But he brings this up, and she's like, "Oh, that was the exterminator. It was like $60-ish." He's like, "All right, 60-ish. All right, we'll put that in." So now the checkbook is totally balanced-ish.
Side note, I don't know if you guys saw, but the pilot episode of this show was the highest rated
Yes, I did see that.
episode of this entire series.
That's never great.
No.
Must not matter because it went 7 seasons.
I know. There's a lot of weird things about this show.
Now she's like, "You and the checkbook. Hey, anyways, we got invited to an art opening on Saturday night." He's like, "Yay, art." She goes, "I'll have an open bar." And he said, "I won't go there for that reason," which like the joke is like, of course he's going to want to drink.
No, I think he said I will go there for that.
Yeah,
reason.
he said I'll go.
Yeah.
I said I'll go there for that reason.
Oh, okay. My translation said otherwise.
He's saying that he won't go for the art, but he will go for the open bar.
She's going, "Well, let's invite Adam and Jennifer to go with us." And he's like, "Oh, when's he moving in?" She's like, "He moved in a couple of days ago. I told you. You don't listen to anything I say, do you?" And he like looks over. He's like, "Ugh." He just like takes like a sip of beer and like looks at her blindly when he's saying all this. And I'll say like I was kind of confused by the dynamic of the relationship, because it starts off with her walking in and him kind of being on her for being like irresponsible and not doing something. And then it kind of gets flipped here. And then the more I thought of it, I was like, oh, I mean, maybe that's just more realistic. And I'm too used to television making it so one has to be responsible and one has to be an idiot at all times. And maybe I'm just not used to seeing a balanced couple like on television enough in these shows that like I was confused by they both had faults.
I will say this is not the first time this episode confuses me in that way, if that makes sense. It's just like a lot of just unnatural feeling dialogue in this, if you ask me.
Oh, I think there's a ton of that. And I think they definitely had some issues with characters not knowing who they truly are yet.
Which is normal in a pilot. Like you kind of have to understand
whole
that
fight
might
we
be the
get
case.
later is very unnatural.
But this is one of the first.
Something that I glanced past actually when the scene started is like the very first couple lines in this scene. She opens the door and goes, "Hey Jeff," and he goes, "Audrey, did you write a check?" And I'm like, they wouldn't use their names like that.
No.
Yeah. Hey Jeff.
but-
hey. Yeah. It's
But they're
weird.
doing that obviously for us to hear their names for the first
Right,
time. Like,
yeah.
but like, so like you give it a little bit of a pass because you understand why they're doing it. But you're like, this isn't natural dialogue right here. She then asks him after the whole thing about him not paying attention with Adam moving in. She goes, "Hey, what did Derek Jeter bat last season?" And he goes, 309, and pauses. "It's important." And I do like his delivery all the time. She's trying to explain to him, like, "Hey, we don't have a lot of couple friends, and Jennifer's like a little sister, like, and you like Adam, right? Because she wants more people they can go out with."
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a good hang.
A good hang. I like that.
So she's going on like, yeah, so like, that means there's a couple in the building that, we don't hate. So let's try to like, set a good example. As she's talking about, he's like looking through like the checkbook still. He's like, "Hey, what is this? $85 for skin cream?" She's like, "Oh my God, it's amazing." And then pulls out the tiniest, I mean, we've all been around it. Like this is
Not far.
this is not exaggerated for
No, this
television.
is very legitimate. Yes.
And it's the tiniest jar of skin cream. And he goes, $85. What's in it? $80?
that guy.
And she's like, "Look, you spent $109 on that robot dog." He goes, "There's no need to bring up Gizmo into this." He's programmed for love. Where was the robot
Yeah,
dog?
I know, right? That's what I was thinking.
You can't bring up that they have a $109 robot dog that lives in the house and not show us the robot dog. They don't live in a giant place.
He says he was programmed for love. Maybe Gizmo didn't make it.
Was it like a Tamagotchi? Like you can kill it?
Maybe it jumped in the tub and got electrocuted.
You see all these videos now with these like the robots that live in the houses now, like the
Yo.
ones. They're so scary.
I've seen too many videos of them freaking out for me to forget
You
one.
see the one that, like the guy's trying to stop it from making the eggs and it's trying to like grab the pan?
No, I didn't even know this was a thing.
It's
so
terrifying.
funny.
They're in the very early stages of it, but yeah,
When they
it is a
run at
thing
you,
now.
it's like I think I would legit scream.
Oh, is that like I saw one video of like one running into a mirror, but like I thought
Yeah.
it was AI.
That's the same video. If you just keep watching it, he then makes eggs.
They look like iRobot, like the robots from that.
Oh, I
almost.
legitimately thought that was AI.
No. And they're
Oh.
like,
Ooh,
they look like they're like maybe sub 5 feet though.
like iRobot.
Like, so they're trying to make them so they're not, just in case you might have a chance.
Hope you have to have a fight to the death with your robot.
The money I would pay to see Jay getting run down by one of these in the street is
So now we get to the next scene and we see Jennifer and Adam and it's the same thing. They're walking into their apartment and Jennifer's saying, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to set up Russell with my friend Karen. And he goes, why? What'd she do to you? Like, no, I know he has commitment issues, but he's not a bad guy. He just needs the right woman to fix him. He's like, I think he needs the right veterinarian to fix him, but go ahead, take your shot. And he's like, what's this? And picks up some papers. And he's like, a wedding registry? Like, we just got engaged. Like, there's not even a plan or a date yet. It's like, I just did it for fun. It's like, yeah, but like, asparagus streamer excited?
This is a weird argument. You just proposed. You're
Yep.
happy you're engaged. You're ready. You're happy to get married. And then you're weirded out by the fact that she's doing wedding things. Like,
yeah,
that's such a weird. I don't know.
I don't know the process well enough, but do you make that list before you even have like a wedding date set?
you can. Well, because you kind of do, because when you send out the invites, you want to point people to a registry if you have one.
Yeah. But like, you're not sending out invites until you know like when and where, and you're not
Yeah, but you could always put together a list.
You're not buying them anything until you're getting ready for a wedding. So like, if they don't get married for a year, like kind of on average, like you would think that it is a little quick that she like, but she was just having fun, right? So you probably went online and started clicking on stuff. But I think the idea is it's also quick.
Yeah.
So it became very real. Like we've already established he got engaged a little bit on the whim, right? He didn't have
a ring.
a ring or anything. So he went from like in the heat of the moment being like, I love you, I want to be with you forever, will you marry me? To now seeing like a wedding registry and being like, oh shit, this is real.
You know, it would have helped that, and I'm not even like saying this to be facetious, but like actually proposing with the ring.
Yeah, proposing without a ring is strange, right?
It's terrifying. Like, honestly, I knew my wife was going to say yes, but like, still, I was terrified at that. Like, it's like real at that moment.
It's a big, it's a gigantic moment in your life.
Yeah.
Propose without a ring, you look like a poor ass bitch.
You just don't. Like,
I don't know if anyone listens has done that, so I'm not.
I don't know anybody that's actually done it because it doesn't show commitment. Not that you're poor, but like, get her something.
Yeah, get us something from a Cracky Jack bar.
My wife's ring wasn't very expensive, but like,
Look at this broke bitch.
yeah, I am. And guess what? I'm married, so Texas Rangers did me a solid that day.
So she's like, look, we're not in any rush to get married, but we don't have to worry about it right now. It's just essentially just like, don't worry about the registry. It is what it is. Don't get like too nervous. And there's a knocking at the door and she goes to get it. And while she's going to get the door, he's like looking at the registry, goes, ooh, a cake pan. Cake's fun. And like, this is going to come up later in the episode. I didn't realize that he turns into like the biggest idiot when it comes to cake.
Yeah,
But
right?
like, this was the like, how not fleshed out is this character?
Why was this the one they chose to be the linchpin for the argument. It could have been any gift.
Yep.
But the cake tray was when they hung the hat on? Like,
It comes up a
why?
lot more, but yeah, apparently he turns into Homer Simpson when cake's involved.
I don't know. You all hated cake.
I love cake. I just think it's a shitty plot device.
Yeah.
And I actually don't love cake. I'm a pie guy.
Yeah. We've talked about all this in the past. So she gets the door. It's Jeff and Audrey. And like, hey, you guys got engaged. Like, you're living together. Like, congrats. Jeff immediately goes, so you guys going Dutch on the rent or what? Like, he's still like financially focused.
I love that.
Audrey's like, well, anyway, we came to invite you guys to an art show on Saturday. And he goes, open bar. So now Adam's in. And the girls start talking like, oh, what are you going to wear? Like, probably something new. Jeff's like, of course. And the two girls like walk off to the bedroom. Their walk-off conversation was a little weird because it was Jennifer's like, I want to show you some new shoes I bought. I'm wondering if they look slutty.
So wait, I meant to ask this earlier. Do they only know each other because they live in the same building, or did they know each other before?
I'm under that understanding. Like, she talked about it a little bit to Jeff, but yeah, the way my brain perceived that was that that's the case. Like, the two girls have gotten to be friendly because they live in the building together, and it's kind of evolved from there.
And they're kind of like Lucy, Ricky, Fred, and Ethel. They're the older married couple.
Sure.
The newer married couple.
The girls walk off. Now the two guys are standing alone in the living room. Adam notes on like Jeff's arm, there's like a little bit of a stain. He's like, oh, come on. He's like, it's Audrey's bike. She never uses it. It's been hanging on our hall for 2 years. And then instantly gets distracted. He goes, oh, whoa, cool Met stuff.
That's my favorite delivery of the whole episode. He just gets excited. The only time his tone changes in the entire episode.
So he gets excited for that. And which is weird because earlier the whole thing about Derek Jeter's,
He's a Yankees guy. Yeah. It's not common to be Yankees and Mets, yeah.
What non-committal writing, like there's a bunch of LA guys who don't like sports, like they have to Google like which was the baseball team in New York again, and they got the wrong one. So he's like, oh, thanks. I want to hang it here, but Jennifer wants me to put it in my office. So like, we'll compromise. So yeah, me and Audrey, we compromise all the time. Like when we got our first apartment, she wanted to get a cat, and I didn't want to get a cat. So we compromised and got a cat. He's like, oh, that's too bad, but that's not going to happen to me. Jennifer's allergic. He's like, so am I.
So am I.
He's like, then why you let Audrey get her way? He's like, you have a biology textbook around here?
I like that.
I just felt like this conversation was a little like, I know that the idea is like, hey, you guys can evolve and be friends, but they're not friends yet. And I feel like they're getting very personal immediately. But as far as like we know, like they really don't know each other that well, but they're being placed as like future potential close friends.
Yeah, this is the courting process of the friendship, if you will.
Now Adam's like, but look at the registry. Jennifer wants a cake plate for the wedding. There's going to be cake. He goes, sorry to disappoint you, but there's not going to be any cake. What are you talking about? I mean, there's not going to be any cake. He's like, no, look, she signed up for a cake plate. There's going to be cake. We have a cake plate. 12 years, no cake. He's like, how can that be? Like, we've got a juicer, no juice, a waffle maker, no waffles, quesadilla maker. And then he goes, oh, yeah, he goes, no, senor.
This killed me, this line.
But again, it's like this whole idea that Adam, who's like a handsome, like well-to-do like guy, he's like this is like usually sitcoms, and I can say this as a big man. There's a lot of times where it's just like fat, doofy, like dad role, like main star comedian for sitcoms, and like having those guys be obsessed with the idea of getting to have cake makes sense. To have Oliver Hudson being like, "Ooh, cake! I want to get married so I can eat cake." Doesn't even almost make sense?
Well, no, he's not doing it because he wants cake. He's doing it to prove that you can get those things and be married. It has nothing to do with his affinity for cake.
That's not how I read it.
No,
because he gets excited when he reads it on the registry.
He's freaking out, and he zeroed in on the one positive thing. As little as it was cake.
My thing is this: is that if they didn't tie in the last scene to this, I would see your point, Nick.
Yeah, I think it was more of a principle thing than a specifically cake thing.
Either way, they made this character really, really stupid. Like, off the bat. And I don't like that.
Next scene, we're back at Jeff and Audrey's like later on. Jeff's standing in the hallway with Aubrey's bike when she walks in, and she's like, "Hey, what are you doing now?" He's like, "Well, our place is too cluttered, so I want to get rid of some stuff. We could probably sell this for money and buy yourself a thimble full of that face cream." And she's like, "My bike? Like, no way, put it back." And he's saying, "You haven't used it in 2 years." And she's like, "I'm going to use it." She's like, "You always say that, but you never do." And then she says, "Jeff, if you sell my bicycle, you will never see me naked again. Oh, and that birthday deal, that will be off." And he goes, "With or without you, the deal will proceed forward." What is the birthday deal?
He's just gonna jerk it, I think.
Anal.
Well, he can't do that with or without her.
Yeah, I don't know.
And then it's like, well, what brought this on? He goes, "Well, Adam was telling me how Jennifer won't let him hang his Mets thing up, and, you know, this dumb wedding gifts." And she's like, "Jeff, I told you to be a good example." And he goes, "Your bike's in the way. I bump into it all the time." She's like, "Well, maybe if you hadn't sold your bike 2 years ago, we'd still be riding together. You'd be skinnier and you wouldn't be bumping into it." He's like, "I get plenty of exercise. Last Saturday, I went 9 for 17 in softball. That's a lot of running." "Yeah? Well, how many beers did you have after the game? 9 or 17? He's like, "I had maybe 4 and then 3 light ones. So like 5.
You don't do a lot of running in softball, do you?
When you run the bases, I mean, it's no different than, like, but like,
Baseball's like the least athletic sport that you can play.
Let's see you play.
I would say not necessarily. It's not as high impact, but it's athletic.
Yeah, I mean,
Have you ever seen an outfielder sprint and like catch a ball that's like
Sure,
flying
not-
behind them?
Sure,
Like,
but not
the
in
bases-
beer league.
No, yeah, he's not doing that.
I guess of all the sports, yes, you probably can get away with being the least athletic in baseball.
No, I would assume in bear league there's a lot more hits because the pitchers are shitty, so you're doing a lot more fielding and running to the ball.
It's not high impact. I mean, I've played
No.
softball, but and when you're a guy his age, like just getting out and playing anything is like it's good exercise for the most part.
He's also a big guy. He must hit dingers.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of the softball leagues have home run rules, though. There's only depending on the league, you can only hit so many home runs in a game, or it depends. Everyone plays it
That's
very different.
stupid.
He then goes like, "What does any of this have to do with your bicycle?" She's like, "Figure it out." He's like, "Give me a clue." And she like walks off. He goes, "Was that a clue?" I feel like, because it comes up later, right? Like they keep building on this whole, like, you don't know why you're mad. Like, what's going on with the bike? She says it.
Yeah.
She says it already right here. It's clear as day. You haven't rode your bike in 2 years. And then she brings up, you sold your bike 2 years ago. We used to ride together. She hasn't rode her bike since he sold his. It's very clear here already. And they're going to spend the entire rest of the episode bringing this up.
And pretending like it's a mystery.
But also, I guess he doesn't listen, which is something that came up earlier.
Yeah.
I don't understand why she'd want to keep the bike if he sold his.
But maybe she would just want to.
If she only wanted to ride with him, she's clearly not getting the chance to ride with him.
I don't think she wanted just to ride with him, but it was something they used to do together. And I think, like, I can understand that part of it where maybe the actual her, like, loving to go out and ride her bike isn't specifically tied to him, but her being mad that he sold the bike when that was an activity they did together, like, I can see why she's hung up on that part of it.
Been 2 years. Move on, lady. Come on.
You sound like someone who would do the same thing. Like, that's, and not realize you did it. But no, I get her point. Those are also conversations that you like have in the moment. Like, I think I'm programmed different. I don't think I would stew on that for 2 years. I think I would, like, the moment he sold it, argue about it and be like, what the fuck did you just do? Like, we used to ride our bikes all the time together.
Yeah, I could see that being more of a bigger problem. Like, you wouldn't forget why
Yeah.
2 years later, because that would be like a constant source.
I also feel like she'd buy him a new bike because she's all willy-nilly with the money.
Yeah, buying creams and exterminator cream.
Yes, there it is.
$60-ish for an exterminator is a great price.
That is a great price.
I haven't had to call one. Oh no, I've needed to call one. I just don't. I definitely need to get rid of the raccoon flying around my roof. But
Leave Richard alone.
I have a cat.
I bought a giant raccoon. If you saw the size of this raccoon at this point, I bought a raccoon trap. The problem is I wake up really, really early for work. And if I set the raccoon trap at night and then I wake up and it's in the trap, I don't have time to deal with it. And I can't like be inhumane and let it just like be in the trap all day. Like that's terrible.
Why? They sleep all day.
Throw it in your car, drive it, and just release it.
In my work garage?
No, on your way out.
Yeah, that would be fun.
I don't have time. Listen, I wake up very early for work. I don't have a lot of slack time to not make it to work on time. Like this is a barely making it to work situation.
I think they'll
most mornings.
forgive you if you were like, I trapped a raccoon.
I don't work in it's a very robotic, you are late, you get a point situation. I have a raccoon.
I think your coworkers will understand.
My coworkers don't care. It's corporate.
I'll let corporate know. That's why they call you Trapper J.
It's true. They do call you Trapper J.
Don't give him that. I feel like he thought of that name and was like, I got to work this in. But yeah, in any event, I have this gigantic raccoon cage. So eventually I'll use it. Also, I'm terrified at the idea of having to then open the cage again to get it out.
He's not going to take revenge on you.
It runs out and then leaps at your face. And then one of those robots comes and tackles you.
Say Jay's getting attacked by raccoons and robots.
How do you deal with that though? Do you just like you open it and you just you hope they run away?
You go towards. All right, so this is the trap.
Don't say it like you've trapped raccoons.
Yeah, here comes. I forgot. Gordo was a raccoon trapper at one point.
No.
Gordo.
But you open it from one side.
No, you didn't do that. You're right.
I've trapped skunks before at the hotel.
I've done it with squirrels. I've had squirrel traps. I have.
Why have you guys caught so many vermin? Like, where's this happening?
At the hotel.
We all live in the same area.
Yeah.
Like, you never had anything near your house?
No. I mean, they're near my house. Yes, they're not on and in it though.
You got a field. Yeah, you open it from the other side.
So just get yourself a good cat. That's why I've never had mice or anything issues.
Yeah.
I'd rather have a raccoon in my roof than a cat in my house. But
I'm with you. That
wow.
hair gets everywhere. And they're assholes.
Not all of them.
No.
You say they get hair in their assholes?
They're quite clean.
Yeah, they're called hairballs.
Cat hair gets stuck in Ferg's asshole.
Not mine.
How'd that get there?
Yeah. So anyways, we then cut to Adam, who's walking into his apartment with a grocery bag while Jennifer is on the couch wearing glasses. There's no need to bring up the glasses part, but it just is a detail that very much caught my eye.
I knew it was going to catch your eye, too. I'm like, Jay's going to be pissed that she took those off.
I was like, whoa, shit.
But yeah, because without them, she's hideous.
She's obviously like an objectively beautiful woman. She was almost, I was going to bring this up, not funny, was she almost too attractive to be in the role?
Yeah, a little bit.
No, I just wanted to be different.
Oh, look at that guy. That's a rat hunter.
You're going to try to pretend it's affectionate and it's going to scratch him in the face because it's a cat.
Shirley is a sweetheart. She doesn't love being held, but never mind.
Is it a munchkin cat?
Runty and chubby.
Oh, okay. He looks like a munchkin cat. Did I ever tell you about the time that I maced myself trying to get raccoons off of my thing?
Did you hold it? Did you hold it the wrong direction?
No. I was dating my wife, and raccoons kept coming up into my window.
And you were going to mace them?
So they were climbing up because my landlord had chopped down the tree in my backyard, and they were climbing up my drain pipe. And it was like the third or fourth date that like my wife and I had been on. And I was like, don't worry, honey, I have an idea. And she goes, you're going to mace the raccoons? And I go, yeah, watch this. And I fucking get them point blank. I spray it. It fucking goes, and the ocean wind comes and fucking brings it right back to my face. Raccoons just look at me as I'm screaming. My now wife is like behind me, like, what kind of like Jerry Springer shit did I watch? And then the raccoon family starts scooting up the drain pipe like nothing happened.
You got what you deserve for trying to mace a raccoon.
Fuck!
Pretty much.
Maybe consider just trying like peppermint oil or something else that deters.
I didn't have peppermint. I just had pepper oil.
You're on their earth. You're in their territory. You get out.
No, they were on my house.
On their earth.
So Adam walks in with his bag of groceries. He's like, look, I grabbed a few things while I was at the store. He goes, I got flour, sugar, eggs, butter, vanilla, and this frosting was on sale. She's like, are you going to make a cake? He's like, no. I thought you'd like to make it. Get a head start on married life. I'm watching the game. I'm drinking a beer. You're baking the cake. The dog brings me my slippers.
This is another weird, dumb argument, too, in my opinion, because the discussion was never, is she never going to make me a cake? The discussion is, we're never going to have cake.
You could buy a cake.
Which on itself is a dumb argument or a dumb, plot device here. But now he's turning it into that she won't make him cake. And I don't understand. This is, man, I don't love this episode for a bunch of reasons. Yeah.
That's what I was saying before. I just feel like the way they present this idea, and like you guys are giving it credit, like maybe it's this multi-layered thing where it's symbolism for his nerves about marriage and stuff. But the way that they're showing it to us is just that he's a fucking dummy who loves cake and he's worried that he's never going to get to eat cake now.
And then he gets all misogynistic about it, which doesn't make sense from either perspective.
Well, yeah, because when he lays out the story, she's like, oh, in your version of marriage, am I allowed to vote? It's like, yeah, you can do it while you're waiting for the cake to bake.
I thought it was weird that he bought the ingredients to make a cake from scratch. He didn't buy a box of cake mix. He bought like the flour, the eggs, everything. Like I wouldn't be able to make a cake without the ingredients. They don't have their phone by their hand with all the information on how to make a cake on the YouTubes.
No, you have to understand women instinctively know how to make cake.
It's in their DNA.
That does not reflect the views of all of us here.
I'm clearly kidding. So she's like, Adam, I don't really bake. Like, and I wasn't planning on starting. Well, then why'd you sign up for a cake plate for a wedding gift? I don't know. What's going on? Like, well, things are happening pretty quickly, and I thought that I'd have my same nice life, only except you'd be in it, which would make my life better, but now I can't put my Mets things up, and I don't know where my stuff's going to go, and I don't want a cat. She's like, I'm allergic to cats. Yeah, so is Jeff.
I feel like they didn't give us enough for this freak out. They gave us the Mets things, but you needed you needed that conversation with Jeff, and then ask for a few more things that she turns down.
Yeah. This needs to be like a repeating pattern throughout the episode instead of like the 3 scenes that we got and then end. Like he needs to do the Mets, then he needs to do something else, and then talk to Jeff. And then, you know what I mean? Kind of have all of Jeff's things come together.
Also, his big argument is like this idea of like, I just wanted to have the same life, only with you being part of it. Was cake a big part of your life before this?
Apparently.
Maybe his sublet that they talked about earlier was above a bakery.
Then he can go and buy cake. This is the dumbest argument. If you want cake that bad, just go fucking buy it.
So after he freaks out, she's like, I don't really know what's going on, but shouldn't you have thought about some of this before you proposed? He's like, I wasn't thinking when I proposed. I just did it. And I was like, oh, shit.
Oh, yeah, that's not the answer.
She's like, oh, is that right? Well, you're obviously thinking now, are you sure you want to get married? And he like pauses. He goes, oh, yeah, yes, I'm sure. And then she runs off. He goes, should I follow you?
Blam.
Yeah, the pause wasn't great.
No.
Yeah, I mean, that argument went so many wrong ways. I don't know, like they're painting him to be like the idiot character. And it just, the first scene, he seemed so grounded and normal. And now he's like the dummy of the group.
Yeah, and like a comical dummy. Like not even like a funny dummy, I guess.
You're the dummy.
Waka waka.
I feel like you didn't get the reference. But the next scene, we're at that art show that we found out about earlier on. Everybody's there. Adam's with Russell, who's talking to like a girl who's serving hors d'oeuvres. And he's like, oh, so you moved to New York from Ohio to become an actress? And she goes, uh-huh. She's like, not intended to be the smartest character. He's like, wow, that's a great plan. I'm surprised more girls don't try to do that. He goes, oh, you smell nice. And that shirt, what is it, cotton? Or it's so soft. Oh, wait, that's your skin. And I was like, that's such a weird line.
That is
the pre-Me Too era.
Just rub someone and compliment how soft their skin is. Oops, I thought I was touching his shirt.
Is that Egyptian cotton?
Are you implying that she felt silky?
Yeah. Smooth. Silky and smooth. Yeah. I think that would be a compliment.
I think it's something about the idea of him saying skin. just mentioning like, oh, it's like it makes it feel more serial killer-ish.
I mean, it does give that vibe.
She goes, I should get back to work. Let's talk later. He's like, oh, we will. I want to hear all about Ohio. As she's walking off. And I was like, so that worked? And I mean, this goes back to what you guys were saying earlier. Like, his character, I feel like inherently is supposed to be the one who's always being a womanizer, but it's like, it's shooting him in the foot and it's not working. But instead, we're going to make him like the sexy guy who all the girls are going to go for.
He needs to be rich for that to work. It can work for Charlie and 2.5 Men because he's rich and lives on the beach. It works for Barney because he has a high-paying like job in the city.
Yeah, we don't know anything about Russell's background, right?
No.
Nope. I mean, they imply that maybe he's doing okay, but that they don't really get into specifics.
And then after she leaves, Adam's like, you always have to touch them. It's like, it's stupid not to. A touch says, if you don't think I wanted to have sex with you, I do.
David Spade is the manager at his father's real estate and development business, Dunbar Industries.
Oh, so he's doing okay.
Yes.
Swag is understandable.
And then Adam's reminding him, like, you're here to meet Jennifer's friend Karen. So why do you even have to touch the ditzy waitress? Like, look, you're just jealous because you're hitting on ditzy waitress days are over. They might not be. Jennifer thinks I'm unsure about getting married. And then Russell goes, well, are you sure? And he goes, yeah, I am. It's like, you paused. I know, I keep doing that. And then they look over at Jeff, who walks over to like a painting and he like touches it and then like he's like feeling his fingers. And Russell's like, Mongo like art. He's like, oh, here he comes. I like
funny,
Jeff.
yeah.
He's huge. Like, hey, Russell, I saw you talking to that waitress. If anything happens there, I'd appreciate some details. No problem. If you want, I'll set up a camera and make you a tape. And they both laugh. And Adam goes, yeah, it'd be funny if he was kidding. Hey, you don't need Russell's stories. I bet the love life with Audrey's still good. Actually, we've sort of wrapped up the sex portion of the marriage. It's been replaced by Letterman. Oof. How many times a week? 4, 5, 5. You're talking about Letterman, right? That joke was very predictable. You knew that 4 or 5 was going to be Letterman.
Better than 6, 7, right?
Stop it.
Our only Letterman fan is actually out this week.
Yeah.
I don't dislike Letterman.
Yeah, no, Letterman was okay. I was more of a Jay Leno guy and a Conan.
I think most people were, except for Joe.
No, I think like looking back, I liked Letterman. I liked Leno a little bit more as a kid, but I feel like now
Leno kind of annoyed me.
I feel like those same wars were going on now. I'd probably be more Letterman.
Now, is that because of Team Coco?
No. It'd be impossible to know, to be completely honest with you, because that did change my opinion of him.
It did. It changed my whole opinion on him, that whole mess.
It really did. No, my favorite out of all of them was Conan when he was on NBC.
Yeah, I never really watched Conan once he like became the TBS guy.
Yeah, me either.
It's just not for some reason it's not the same. Like it's in the TV watching days, and I feel like late night in general takes a hit now that like more people are cutting the cord, and not watching cable in its primary function. But like when all the network channels are like right near each other and you're kind of flicking back and forth, if you're like channel 30 something, you're not near the other channels, like when you're going back and forth watching the other late nights. So it hurts.
That was when they invented the last button on the remote.
Yeah.
It was so great. It's with WCW and WWE, even though they were one channel
I
apart.
was going to say, like, I don't know about where all of you live, but for those of you who participated in the Monday Night Wars, Raw and Nitro were channels 33 and 32. So it was very easy to go up and down and just watch between the two. Funny like things like that you'll never forget.
Yeah, I mean, it's the golden era of my childhood, in my opinion. It's just like, in your room on a Monday night, just fucking watching this mayhem unfold on 2 different platforms. It was the best.
I know what channels TBS and USA were on in the 90s, but I don't know what channels they are today.
I don't think they've changed, have they?
Oh, I remember MTV was 36, Disney Channel was 24.
No, I thought 24 was
Nickelodeon was 24.
Nickelodeon was 25.
Yeah. I do think at one point that was switched, though. I think they were 24 at one point.
I thought they
and then
were
switched to 25.
I could say Nickelodeon was 24 because I'll also say this: if you guys ever look at my like coming soon pictures, like when I preview the next episode we're gonna put out, I try to always change the channel to be reflective of like what channel it was when we were kids. Some of them aren't networks that we had as kids, so I have to improvise. If it's like Netflix, I'll just do the year the show came out. But yeah, like so if we cover a Nickelodeon show, I always say it's on channel 24. Little dumb stuff to make my job more difficult that nobody notices.
Touche. Well, we appreciate your work.
Thank you. Anyways, we cut to the girls, and Jennifer's going, so does Jeff at least get why you're so upset with him about wanting to sell your bike? No, he doesn't get it. It's something we used to do together, and I'm not going to explain that to him. He's going to have to figure that out for himself. And I just feel like you did explain that to him. Like he just didn't listen. Like, but it was, you outwardly said it because we know as listeners already. And I feel like maybe they should have taken that line out. Like that was one of those things that we probably would have figured out as viewers. But the fact that she did yell it out kind of takes all this away because we've already found out the secret.
I also don't think something that happened 2 years ago she'd still be mad about that he wants to get rid of her bike. I think it would be better writing if he did get rid of her bike and it reopened the wound, not wanting to.
I think
but she saw him trying to throw it away, so it kind of did that.
Yeah, I was going to say the act of getting rid of it.
Like it was off the wall and in his hand, like he was like ready to throw it in a pile of shit to sell. We pan over and we see him trying to catch ice cubes from a drink in his mouth, like when she was talking about how he has to figure it out for himself. So that was like a funny little visual gag when they like show that. We've all tried catching food in our mouth. I'm terrible at it.
Yeah, me too.
No, I can't do it for the life of me.
I'm pretty good at it.
Ice though, maybe not, a little risky.
I wouldn't do it with ice. I'd end up chipping a tooth or something.
Yeah, I'm like, that was the only thing that went through my head is like, the risk of chipping your tooth is pretty high on this
Depends on the ice. If it's like a little piece of like shaved ice, yeah, you could do it, but like not a big chunk.
Yeah, that's ice from his drink. It's not going to break a tooth.
Depends. You ever get a whiskey where they put a giant, basically baseball-sized ice cube in there?
Well, he didn't throw one of those.
I know that's not what he had, but you can get all different kinds of ice for your drinks. And now we get back to the guys. Jeff saying, look at him. Getting engaged is the right decision. How long can you prowl around bars, slinging pickup lines, and having emotionless sex? And Russell goes, I'll let you know. He's like, I'm just saying, you wrestle enough bears, eventually you're going to get bitten. Like, yeah, I wrestled a few bears in my day. Yeah, wait, are the bears fat chicks? Russell trying to like figure this out. Like, but the thing is, I had a lot of fun being single. I guess my question is, how do you know when you're done? And then Jeff goes, well, look, when you find the right bear, and then Russell cuts in, what is it with the bears? Were you raised by bears or something? Like, I thought this was one of the best exchanges in the whole episode. Funny. Because they're all talking, because like he's using these bear metaphors, and like Adam's going along with it, and Russell's just like, he's thinking the way a normal person outside of the sitcom would, I guess, and be like, why does he keep talking about bears?
Maybe that's a thing where he's from.
I would like the end of his story.
I felt like this was getting to see David Spade be David Spade more than David Spade playing a version of Barney.
Yeah.
So after all this advice, Adam's like, you know what, guys, as helpful as all this is, I'm going to go to the bar real quick. Jeff tells him, good, keep drinking until you're happy. And Russell's like, actually, great idea. I think I'm going to take that. And he heads over with him. So now that leaves Jeff alone till Audrey walks up. And she just goes, so have you figured out why I'm upset?
So unnatural. I hate that.
That's just not how that would work. Because I have some theories. And then he takes a sip of his drink to like stall and then just changes the subject. He's like, so how about this urn, huh? It's blowing me away. She like walks off.
Be great if she said, oh, yes.
My Undertaker.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, you just mentioned this. I just think this is another case where we're talking about unnatural dialogue, and she's mad about him not understanding the bike thing.
Yep.
Whatever. But it's not like they're in a bitter rivalry over this conversation either. It's like one of those, they talked about it, but they weren't like fighting. It was just like a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then it cuts back to the girls like earlier, and Jennifer's like, does he know why you're mad yet? And then it cuts back to her later walking up to him now and going, well, do you know why I'm mad yet? And it's like, it just doesn't, none of this feels like it's fleshed out dialogue.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. It's just, The whole episode is just like that. It's I don't know. I can't put it into words.
It doesn't have an identity
Yeah.
of its own. It's just it feel like it's like really trying hard to be other sitcoms, and it's not really.
Gotta like pick
know,
a lane.
I really.
It's all just very poor writing because I think all this could work. I like the dynamic of the old married couple, the engaged couple, and the single guy. You see all three lives. It's almost like Modern Family, how you see different versions of families. It's just different versions of relationships. But the writing, the dialogue is so poor that it really screws up the show. For better or worse, it's a good plot with bad writing.
But is that due to the characters? I wonder.
Oh, I think the characters are all fine.
I don't know much about like Oliver Hudson, but like Patrick Warburton is like a like we said earlier, like he's a very niche person.
Sure, but I think he's like the funniest person we're seeing throughout the episode.
He is.
But I think like also you have opportunities here where I think Oliver Hudson's character, Adam, should probably play a little more realistic. And then David Spade's character, Russell, should be a little bit funny enough, more like David Spade.
Yeah.
Like, let him be what you hired. Don't try to get him to just mimic what's popular right now on another show. Which we're completely speculating, but I just think when you look at the time and like how his character's acting, you see just too many parallels to it.
Oh, 100%.
But you have a great cast here. Like everyone in this cast is great. So the premise is there, the cast is there, and we keep talking like this is unnatural dialogue and things like that. And I mean, we'll keep going, but see kind of the direction we're heading in. We cut to a little later on, and Jennifer walks in with her friend Karen and introduces her to Russell.
Oh, Karen the Amazon?
Well, next to David Spade.
Next to David Spade, I was going to say.
The height difference between the two of them is jaunting.
To be fair, if you put a normal sized person next to me, the same jarringness would happen.
And then like she's probably in heels because she's at the event.
Yeah.
So Jennifer introduces them and they exchange pleasantries, and he goes, "May I take your coat?" She's like, "Are you going to give it back if it doesn't fit?" So they're joking right away. So there's a little bit of potential there, I guess. There's some sparks. You can usually tell like when people meet, like if she wasn't into him, she wouldn't be joking around with him right away, which is what I thought was going to happen. Was like one was going to be like very much not attracted to the other as soon as they met, but they didn't go that way.
Yeah, they played up his Playboy persona. He's got the je ne sais quoi.
Yeah. And we cut to Adam, who's standing at the bar, and a girl walks up to him. So this girl walks up, and she just says, "Hi." And Adam's like, "Hi." She's like, "I'm Sarah. I'm Adam." Like, "That's a really nice jacket, Adam. Thanks." And then he goes, "Oh," and realizes she's flirting with him.
Because she rubs his arm.
And then we cut to Jennifer, who's walking up with. There's a lot of like flashing around now. And the scene is, we have the art scene, we have everybody at the art scene, and we're also using this as kind of a good way to give us different pairings of people that we're not going to see together as much, right? So you have people one-on-one who like Russell and Jennifer probably aren't going to be alone too often, right?
Yeah.
So you're getting things like this. You're getting Jeff one-on-one with different people. So it's like, I guess a good way to shuffle everybody around in a scene where they're all together. Like I said, here we have Jeff and Jennifer, and he says, "Hey, I saw you talking to Audrey. She's still pretty mad about that whole bike thing. Maybe you can help me out with it." She's like, "Audrey wants you to figure it out for yourself." Well, that's not going to happen. And then cuts away again, and now we have Russell with Karen, and they're like, they're in the middle of like talking and going through stuff, and she must have showed him her business card. He's like, "Oh, that's really hot. I didn't know nurses had business cards." And she's kind of going over like how she started in med school, took a break, and now her dream is to become a pediatric surgeon. And he goes, "Your dream is to operate on people's feet?" And she's like, "No, that's a podiatrist, a pediatric surgeon." And he goes, "Oh, you're joking." And she's like, "Are you ever serious?" Like, tried once, wasn't funny. Like, too bad. I think serious can be very sexy. He goes, "Seriously?" And then he does like the his
the
arm
Rock.
on the table, hand up, like trying to look serious thing.
Problem is, she says the whole serious comment. Their first meeting was her making a joke, not being serious.
Yeah, that's true.
But the coat, "Can I take your coat?" "Only if you give it back."
I would say they've probably been talking not long. They've probably been talking for like 10 minutes. She probably is getting an early vibe that this guy literally jokes about every last thing, like always needs to have a punchline, but they're still vibing.
The good thing that this art show is open bar because it looks like a miserable time.
They didn't do a great job of like gussing up this scene to like be lively at all.
Yeah, usually you have like a little background music and some other stuff going on.
Sure,
like,
like other people.
Yeah.
Like there's not many other people there. Yeah, it was a really interesting way to like dress this because it didn't seem very extravagant at all.
And then we're cutting back to Adam and that girl Sarah, who we just met at the bar. Sarah, the most interesting things always happen to you. You should write a book. The long story short, ta-da, I'm writing. It's fiction, and I've just changed the names to protect the guilty. Like, yeah, good idea. She's like, it's sort of like Catcher in the Rye meets Sex in the City.
What?
Ew.
And then like she's going on about it, and as she's talking, like they kind of fade down her vocals and like some music starts playing, and you can see that Adam notices Jennifer like off in the distance, and she's like just looking at like one of the pieces, and like he smiles as he sees her, and then like kind of like flashes back to like, you know, audio levels and music disappears, and Sarah's still talking, and she's talking about how there's like 8 million people, but it's so hard to meet the perfect person. He goes, yeah, it is. Excuse me. And like walks off and heads over to Jennifer. So now he's standing beside her as she's looking at this piece of art. He goes, this looks like it symbolizes inner turmoil and a sense of loss and confusion. What do you think? And she goes, I think a monkey got into paint.
I agree because this painting is horrible. It's just a big brown painting.
It's not an uncommon trope, right? And then, but it does reflect real life. And I don't know at what point did it become like real life is imitating art or vice versa. But like you do see these art galleries, and it's just like someone got a big canvas and then like painted a little red square in the corner.
Yeah.
And people are like, oh my God. And then the thing sells for $1.2 million. And you go, what do I like? Am I dumb? What is there something I don't understand?
No, you're not dumb. Art is subjective. Art is that type of art. I think is so pretentious now that that's what's driving the price of it.
And I get that,
and
like
nothing else.
To the legit artist, to some of them, as simple and dumb as some of it seems, it probably does mean a lot to them. But to the person buying it for like over $1 million just because, like they're being told it's important, like you could recreate that. You could just get someone to make that for you.
Give me something classy like dogs playing poker.
Right.
Yeah.
That's art.
Or, you know, like our NFT apes. Those are art.
Are those still worth a lot of money?
No.
No, they're not.
What does one like sell for now though? Like if you
It
wanted,
was
like,
just an article. People are taking baths on those NFTs.
oh, of course.
like so badly, and I'm so happy for them.
Yeah, I'm not even remotely surprised.
There's still Bored Ape Yacht Club is the floor of it is approximately $18,000, which is $18,510, which is $18,500 more than it should be.
I mean, we've been talking about this for years, right? Gordo once upon a time used to bring up these NFT apes a lot.
I love them.
And like the money they were going for then, I mean, we're talking like over $100,000 for most of them, right? At that time.
My apes. And then there was the guy that got his apes stolen. And that cracks me up still to this day is the guy going on Twitter and saying, my apes, they took my apes.
But the thing is, like, yeah, to me personally, in this old conversation of us saying it, so I never understood the NFT thing.
No.
Like, it just never made sense to me. Like, I remember we'd argue with friends, like, when it came to, like, digital, like, sports cards like that. It's like, yeah, but I own it. It's like, yeah, but what do you own? You own an image that's on the internet that we could see, too. Like, what do you
I
own
can
it?
copy that image, and now I own it.
Yeah. So... never quite made sense to me. I'm glad it went belly up because it was so stupid.
Same with crypto. Like, I don't
That's how I feel about
though.
crypto too. I know that's a much larger conversation, but to me, it's like, this isn't real.
Yeah.
And someone decided it's real, and now everyone's dumping all their money into it.
Yeah. It's like a Ponzi scheme.
Yeah. The people who got rich off it, like, sell it. Just be rich with normal
Sure.
money now. But anyways, yeah. So the two are standing next to each other, and Adam's like, listen, I'm sorry. I got crazy. I'm just scared. She's like, well, I'm scared too. Like, well, why are you scared? She's like, well, we did this pretty quickly. and we don't seem to be seeing things the same way. He's like, we will, we just need time. So like she's acknowledging, like from what we said in the beginning, even like when Russell was being weird about finding out they got engaged, it is true. They've only known each other like 7 months. So to be engaged is a lot.
Yeah.
So anyways, Adam and Jennifer are sitting there and they're having this conversation, and now an older couple walks up and they're standing like next to them. Adam looks at the older woman and goes, "Excuse me, what do you see in this picture?" She goes, "I see a boat on the Hudson River on a summer day." And then her husband goes, "Yes, a boat on the Hudson." He goes, "Thanks." And then looks at her and goes, "Yeah, I think we'll be fine." And the two kiss and walk off.
It's so stupid.
And then the old couple goes, well, she says to him, the older woman's like, "All you ever do is repeat what I say. Have you had an original thought in the last 40 years? And he goes, and the hearing aid goes off. And he turns off his hearing aid. And she's like, "Don't you walk away from me, you son of a bitch."
The son of a bitch got me.
Yeah. Also, what is this old guy from? He might have even been in something we covered, but I've seen him not.
I think he's just stereotypical.
Seen him recently, and it was driving me crazy. I even IMDb'd and it didn't pop up. He's in a bunch of stuff.
Oh,
he's something.
Mr. Don Perry? Oh, R.I.P. 2012.
Oh.
That can't be the same guy. He was old as balls in this.
Well, that was only a few years later.
Oh, yeah. So it's not new?
He died, he died in 20...
I think this dialogue would have been more effective if he didn't lean over and talk to her and ask her what she thought of the painting. If they just listened to them and thought their relationship was sweet and say, "Oh, if they can make it, we can."
Sure, because I don't understand why them seeing the same thing in the weird painting is supposed to be the comfort. That's the whole thing.
Yeah.
Like his whole test was like, let me just see if this old couple sees the same thing in this obscure art.
Yeah, if the old guy was like, "It's a rocket ship," would they have called off the marriage?
Right, right.
Vince McMahon.
Yeah. It's a cock.
2 balls.
Gotta puke.
So yeah, no, I get that. Like, I don't really see why it was that way. They could use the old couple to be the metaphor, but yeah, them both seeing a boat on the Hudson, I don't think was the way to do it.
Also, how do you see a boat in the Hudson? Its whole painting is brown.
Yeah, no, I'm with Ferg on this.
The entire painting is a brown painting. It's all brown.
Yeah, so it must be in Cleveland.
Well, I mean, the Hudson isn't exactly Caribbean waters.
Yeah, but it's not brown.
What is it?
Blue?
It doesn't. There's no boat in this painting.
It's just brown.
I did think the dialogue between the older couple was funny after they left.
Yeah, no, that was good.
So that was
Yeah.
fun.
That was realistic, at least.
But like the use of them in the beginning, I think, yeah, it was again like the right idea, the wrong dialogue.
Story of this show.
Yeah.
So then next scene we have Jeff and Aubrey and they're in bed. Jeff's like on his laptop and he goes, "Hey, take a look." She's like, "A bicycle website?" "Jeff, I told you you're not selling my bike." He's like, "No, I'm not. I'm getting one for myself so that we can ride through Central Park together like we used to." She goes, "Really?" "Yeah, after softball and not on Sunday during football season." And she like shuts the laptop because now they're going to have sex because he's buying a bike.
Not anymore. She shut the laptop.
He's like, "Great, now she's gonna forget, and I didn't order it yet." Yeah, I feel like they didn't give us anything for him to like figure it out. Like he figured it out on his own, which is great. But could there have been something where we saw him start to understand? Because he was completely in the dark, and like we just cut to the end, and now there's no resolve. He figured it out.
Yeah, it's almost like something went on the cutting room floor.
Yeah, there's like the one scene where like
The aha moment.
there could have been like a painting of two people on a bike, or someone saw I see two people on a bike together.
That's perfect. That's what he should have seen. No eureka moment.
Anyways, either way, he's getting laid now. And then we fade over where like at Russell's apartment. And it starts off, we see like that girl Karen's business card that we're talking about, like right on the like little table next to the bed. And then it pans over and you see Russell goes, "That was nice. I'm glad I went." And then it flips and you see the cocktail waitress from earlier, the hors d'oeuvre girl rather. Like, "I'm glad you did too." And like, it was a good reveal because they did that little like the misdirect by showing you Karen's card. It did trick me. It's a very predictable scene, but it tricked me. And I should have saw it coming.
Oh no, it didn't get me. I knew it was gonna be because they need to show that he's shady.
And she goes, hey, is it all right if I sleep over? He's like, here? Sure. And then she just starts going off. And she's like, great, because my apartment's really tiny and my roommate's kind of a jerk. And it's like, she puts all her food on one half of the shelf and tells me not to touch it. And I'm like, hold on, I'm going to get some water. And she steps out and she keeps talking and talking and talking and talking while he's just in bed. And like, while she's talking, he like picked up that card for Karen and is like looking at it like, oh, maybe I did the wrong thing. And then like when she comes back, now mind you, never takes a breath. He goes, wait, did you drink water and never stop talking? Like, oh, yeah, I guess I did.
I'm glad for that line because I was pissed that she came back without water. And I was like, wait, she got up for water.
Yeah. I thought it was going to be like, oops, I forgot. Like she was dumb, but somehow magically she can do this thing. Like, I want to see her do this.
Great trick.
She says to him, you want to do it again? And he looks at the card again and he throws it on the floor. He's like, yes, I do.
Style over substance.
And then we cut back to Jeff and Aubrey, and they've clearly just had sex now. Like, wow, I just kept going, didn't I? He's like, thank you, open bar. And she goes, hey, do you want to do it again? And they just both start laughing. He's like, again, remember that? So I like that they broke the whole, like, we're not having sex anymore thing. And they do like finally has it, but even then, like they're still on the page with like, yeah, we're still older now. We're not going to be fucking crazy about this.
I have gone over this before, I think, or I know I have. The married people don't have sex thing in sitcoms is maybe the most overdone trope in all of sitcoms, in my opinion. And I think it's very indicative of, especially a newer sitcom like this, it's very indicative of just lazy writing. This whole show kind of has that in spades.
David Spades?
Yeah. But yeah, that's just like, that's when you go back, obviously you can get away with it more in the, the 90s and stuff like, even especially in the 80s and stuff like that. But as you progress and it's been done more and more, and then you get to a show like this, which is, what year is this pilot?
2007.
Yeah, 2007. It's been done 1,000 times already. Try to do something else, and yeah, I really don't like, especially in the pilot when you're hanging on that too. It's just, they're not hanging. It wasn't the point of the episode, but they still stuck it in there.
I'll give a little credit in that there are, there's breadcrumb of truth in it, right? Like,
yeah, well, of course, yes. That's why it's talked about. Yeah,
it's not like it's this wild thing, but yeah, it's been used over and over and over again. After they laugh, we see the exterior shot of Adam and Jennifer's apartment, and we hear them talking, and we hear, "Oh yeah, that's so good. Oh, let me just lick that." And like, this is another one where I think it was like meant to be a mist. It was painfully obvious what was going to happen when they cut inside.
Yeah,
and it cuts in, and there they are eating cake, and
my man got his cake.
It's like, ooh, delicious. Like, well, now that we're done with the cake, let's have some dessert. Like, actually, I'm tired. Is it okay if we wait till tomorrow? And he's like, it already is tomorrow under these sheets. She's like, come on, I'll make it worth your while. He's like, all right, fine. We have the rest of our lives to do this. And I think we're going to be really happy. Me too. Then she hands him the remote. Here, you can watch Letterman. He goes, Letterman?
Yuck, 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 yuck.
I fucking hate this show.
I was reading. We're done, right? We could talk about.
That was the end of the show.
Yeah.
All right. I was like reading ahead on this show. It sounds even stupider than as it goes on.
So this show lasted, it seems, so it was a mid-season replacement show for 2 other canceled shows. So like 2 other shows got canceled, and they were like, okay, let's put this in its spot. And it just filled out that part of the season for them. But also, I imagine this show was really cheap. It's a small cast. It's not an expensive, set to, get going. It's just basic bar, basic apartment, stuff like that. And this is coming out at a time where there's not a ton of sitcom competition, if you will. I just made up a word that we can maybe use again later. Sit competition. I'd have to go back and look at the 2007, TV guide, I guess. and C, but I don't imagine there's many big hitters around this time, because if there were, I would imagine this show wouldn't have lasted as long. But that's just guessing. I could be wrong.
It's funny because when I watch the show, I'm like, okay, like I really like a lot of these people, and there's some funny moments in here. And I'm thinking about like how I'm going to eventually vote and things of that nature. And I feel like I'm going to be an island of myself, because sometimes you don't know how everyone's going to feel about the show until we start recording, right? We try hard to not talk.
Yeah.
Unless it's like a very obviously show that's like an all-time great or an all-time most hated show. Like, you know, we do our share of those. So like when we're doing a show like The Ugliest Girl in Town or something of that nature, you know, like one of those many shows that everyone cancels but Gordo.
Goat show.
Like, it's easy to know, like, going in, like, what the dialogues are going to be like, until you could kind of lean into that with, like, the really bad shows. And then you have the shows like this that have all the potential in the world, and there's, like, glimmers of funny in it. And I'm watching it, and I'm like, I wonder if I'm going to be the only one who doesn't seem to like the show that much. You know, like, you don't know what you're getting into sometimes with the rest of you guys.
Seems pretty obvious, I think, but
I didn't think it was super obvious, but it does seem like we're fairly all on the same page. I don't really have much else to say about the show.
No, because for a show that ran 7 seasons, there's actually we've run into shows that don't have a ton of information because they were, you know, first season cancellations, whatever. The show went 7 seasons and there's still not much.
Yeah, it just seemed like everyone went to work that day and that was it. There's not like a lot of facts about it or fun trivia. Yeah.
Also, Nick, you were right. 2007 sitcoms were garbage.
Yeah, so this one, it just had to be the fastest one in the bunch.
So with all that in mind, we'll get into the green light or cancel. Again, Joe's vote will be reflected in like a graphic that we'll see later in the week. If you follow us on any of our social media platforms, S1E1pod.com has the links for all of those.
He's going to green light this.
He might.
I guarantee it. He's going to say it's sweet.
Patrick Warburton. And then he'll just say green light. But yeah, with that being said, we'll get into the green light or cancel. Ferg, I'll start with you.
No surprises here. This is a cancel from me. Although I see this show's great potential with this cast, and like I said, I like the plot of the different types of relationships. It's just such bad writing and bad dialogue. I don't know if it's lazy or like ineptitude, but it's really bad. I don't have that much more to say about it. I guess David Spade did a pretty good job, and Patrick Warburton was a great Patrick Warburton. But yeah, cancel.
Nick.
I love all the actors on this show. I hate all the characters. None of them are, in my opinion, likable. And, you know, Patrick Warburton is the only redeeming character, in my opinion. He's exactly what you'd expect if you know Patrick Warburton. Like Ferg said, it's just poor writing. The dialogue is really tough to watch. I cannot believe this show went 7 seasons. I really can't believe it. Like, and this is the highest rated episode of all the episodes, apparently. And this episode sucks. It's such a low effort show. And like Ferg said too, you can see the potential in this show, which is it kind of frustrates you because they could have done a lot better. They just, I don't know, it existed in a time where they didn't have to try very hard, I guess, which is disappointing. But yeah, I mean, it's a very easy cancel in my opinion. Can't believe the show lasted as long as it did with a pilot like this. It was really hard to watch. Easy cancel.
Gordo.
I'm actually going to go a little different than you guys. I actually didn't mind it. It wasn't the best show, not the worst by any stretch of the imagination, but this is your classic keep this on in the background while you're doing something else show. And I think for that type of show, which is probably what they were going for, considering that they named episode 100, I don't think it's a bad show if you set the bar kind of mid. So would I leave this on in the background? Is it interesting enough to warrant seeing an episode 2? Yes. Does by all stretch from reading ahead the show go really off the walls? I guess it does, but I don't know that, so I'm going to give it a second episode. Green light.
I hate you.
So with me, I'm gonna stick with the majority. But honestly, does the show have all the potential in the world? Sure, but I didn't see it here, and it is frustrating because, again, like we said, it just seemed like it came down to writing because the premise was there, and you had a great cast, and you just kind of whiffed. And it lasted a while.
They didn't, though, which is so weird.
There was so much potential, and it just didn't realize it. And just the unnatural dialogue and stuff of that nature is just frustrating, because I think like people, and I don't know, I guess somehow, some way, through enough years and enough episodes, we can say that we're somewhat experts in the situation now. But like when you deal with sitcoms, I think sitcoms are such like a easy media form for like television that like people, especially in like the more modern era, take it for granted. Like it's just, you can just slap one together and it takes no effort. And we've seen how smart writing can be a huge difference maker on shows like this. And this was just too copy paste, stick to the tropes, don't do anything too creative. It could have been so much more, and it just wasn't. And that's frustrating, because I think the bones of a really great show are here. So with that being said, that's only 1 out of 4. So even regardless of Joe's score, it's going to be a cancel. So sorry to rules of engagement. You do not get a green light with us. I want to thank all of you guys for listening. Again, S1E1pod.com is where you can find all the links to all our socials, where to listen to us. If you want to buy a shirt, do all that stuff, please feel free to do any of that. Hit us up. We'd like talking to you guys, and no shows that you want us to cover, or just things that we've said along the way that you agree with, don't agree with. It's just kind of fun to have other people's perspectives. So with all that in mind, thank you guys so much for listening. We'll catch you next week with another new episode. Till then, thank you. Goodbye.
I think we get the best mace raccoons.